Hey, Dane here, and welcome to my vlog. This one's around the house. I'm going to take a look at a used Kenmore washing machine, and I'm told that it has a cracked tub. So stay tuned. We'll see what we find. Alright, it's continuation. What you see here is a Kenmore 500 model washer. It was a 2006, I believe, yes. And it was reported to me that he had the owner said there was a hole in the outer drum here. So he flipped it over, and sure enough, I see where it's cracked on that. To rewind a little bit, to remove where I'm at, you've got two screws in the back of this thing. You can take this off, you can leave it off. If you leave it on here, you're going to have to pull that out of the way. So there's two screws there, and then on top you've got some clips that hold this on. You slide a screwdriver under it and you can pop it up. I just got this propped back, and then you got those plastic tabs in the back. And then once you got that pulled apart, then you can pull the chest that sits on there. And once you've got the chest out of the way, now make a note. Ones I've been working on are the Frigidaires, and you can actually go right in here and pry these up. That's not the case. These have got screws that hold this on there. You've got to remove this. You've got to remove the top chest, and it just slides in there, and it hooks to these, sits on that, and then it's locked together once you hook it to that. Now, to remove, next step will be to remove the ring that's on top here, so you can get the agitator out. Now you got these little prongs here. You push down on the tub, on the top of the ring here, and then you can clear these hooks. It's pretty simple. The agitator, of course, has got a bolt that's down in the center there. And I use an 11mm with a long extension. It's sitting underneath this. It sits like this. That sits in there. It's got little clips right there that you're gonna push. This sits here. Like that, and this sits on top of it and pushes down. So when you look it in there, that's all you see is your little fluid cup. You could actually leave that like it is and then just push those hooks out of there. There's one on each side. Push it in there, pull that out, and then get your 11mm with extension, and then this will just come, that'll just drop right out of there. Okay. Now, when you want to pull your spin drum, your inner drum, what you're going to have is you've got this ring, and if you're working on them all the time, you can get the spanner. Okay. Other than that, what I used, see, so let's put that on there. I used a medium-sized pipe wrench. I grabbed it, and then I pounded it, and it let go. Now, with that said, when you put the agitator back on, you got this little clip that sits on top of it, and then this ring, clip ring, sits on top of that. So you'll see that when it goes in, and that little ring also sits right in that. Let me get this back together here. So this little thing goes in here and it locks down. Once you got the spanner nut here all the way down, what that's doing is it's compressing your in here. So you can spin that over and that like fits right in that little groove there. Just like that. And then you put your clip on top of that and hold that down. Alright, so it's pretty simple. Take this off. Now, we'll take the net out. Here, so I'll lose it. Now you're gonna want to pull your drum out. It may be in there pretty solid, okay? And it was for me. They say shake it around, pull it up, but I didn't get that far. So what I did is I used a hard rubber mallet on the outside of that, and lo and behold, that puppy just let right go. It's that simple. So with that said, pull it right out like that. And as you can see, being a used washing machine, definitely gonna have to wash this up. Definitely underneath your agitator. Now I'm where I want to be. I'm not gonna pull. You've got a seal here. You've got this piece right here that I believe pops up. Yep, pops right up. Okay. And as you can see, there's actually some alignments that are going to lock right on that. Okay. So I'm not going to mess with that. I'm just going to make sure this goes back in there. It lines up with those. All right. Yep. And they lined up and good to go. So now I pull this apart. As you can see, here's my problem. See the cracks? And I don't know. I think I don't know what happened or why it cracked. But see, really not that solid. It's very flimsy. So, but this is definitely where it's leaking. So I'm gonna clean that up, and I'm gonna fiberglass it. And I don't have to replace this thing. A new one of these is right around $219 from what I'm finding. So they're not cheap. So $10 in fiberglass, and that's going to secure that up really good. So I'll never have a problem in that area. So that's where I'm at, and I'm going to clean this up, and then I'm going to fiberglass it up, and we'll be back. Okay, I'm washing this out. Let's see what's down a big old hole down there, huh? All kinds of stuff living in that hole. That's your drain. Now when you buy somebody else's washing machine, you're gonna have to clean this, because this is somebody else's, you know, body wash and body odor, and you know, this is really disgusting. So, you know, this is stuff you got to do if you buy somebody else's washer. So take this into consideration when you buy somebody's used washing machine. Now when I took the washer up there to wash it, I wanted to go ahead and clean it and then pump the water through it. But you're not going to be able to do that without taking your door switch with you, and that is connected through a it's connected to the little door thing right there. So you're gonna have to pull that, and then once that's released, you can pull it right out. Okay, that's your door switch, and without that being hooked up, you're not going to be able to start the washing machine. So it's kind of makeshift override. Okay, now by overriding it, make sure you put your on the pump out cycle, and then reconnect your door switch, and then you can control it from here. You just kind of push this forward. There you go. So now you drained it out. All right, my cleanup is pretty much complete. Got my outer drum cleaned up, and I took some heavy sandpaper and I scratched up that area, and so when I made sure I had 2 inches on each side, so when I put the fiberglass down and the cloth on it, I'm going to have it out 2 inches around the outside. It's going to beef that up big time. Alright, next thing you want to make sure you do is you got to clean all of this stuff up now. Yeah, still miss some on that. Especially your agitator and inside here. Okay, make sure you clean that up real good. Your drum, and inside here you see you got rust. Not much you can do about it other than probably get some heavy sandpaper and sandpaper it up, and then hit it with some primer. But that's about it. Once this thing gets rusting, there's not much you can do. It's over 10 years old, and this is ceramic. And once the ceramic has been broken, it'll start rusting. So that's what you got there. You're not going to be able to do much of anything when it comes to that. Make sure that you clean the inside of your inside of your drum, and then once you get it together, hit it with a nice wash of Clorox, and that'll decontaminate everything. Now what you're looking at here is the drum. Unfortunately, because it is over 10 years old now, when they put the ceramic on here, if they didn't do a real good job at sealing the metal drum, it's going to rust. And down inside here, a view inside there, you can see how it rusted in the shaft there, and I'm going to have to rust proof it again, and there you go. There's a good view, and you see the rust in there, and especially over 10 years time there, it's accumulated. So what I'm doing is I sanded it down best I could with some sandpaper and a wire brush. What I'm going to do is put this stuff on there called navel jelly, and what it does is it converts the rust into a hard surface, and it seals it. Use it in the military on the ship's outer decks when they start to rust. And doing this, again, it converts it. Now you should wear rubber gloves and stuff on this. Put it on there for a while, and then it dries. And then you can paint over it. And I'm just going to put primer on it. Put this on, and then about 5 minutes or so, spray it with water. And something, put water back on it. outside of this. It's actually acid, basically. And again, it turns that rust back on itself. Definitely read the directions I'm using this. Alright. More exposed rust on the bottom here. So, actually, see it on the other side of all of it, but I want to get definitely in here where it was really bad. So, last another couple years there. Alright, now I'm taking the navel jelly and I've waited the 5 minutes, actually about 10 minutes what it said, and now I've sprayed it down with water, and looks like it put a nice little coat. And I think what happens is it blends in with the rust, and then once you give it that 5 minutes, it's enough to do its chemical change, and then you add water to it, and then it gives it a hard layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just spray it with primer, and I'll let it go with that. I think I got some white paint too, so I'll prime it and then I'll spray it with white outer paint. Alright, this sat out here for a couple hours or so. As you can see, I took some just automotive primer. It's alright. And then I sprayed it into the center and got all that rust covered. And next I got some white exterior spray paint. And you could use the Rust-Oleum if you had a mind to. And that'll be the next step. Alright, let's get this going here. Here's my fiberglass pad. I got my resin and I got my hardener. What I'm going to do is I decided, because it's cracked in here, I'm going to go ahead and put stop holes on the end of each one of those cracks so it doesn't continue to crack inside. Once you do that, it's going to stop cracking. Okay. You see, I put a total of 3 stops. Each one of those cracks should not crack any further. Of course, the resin is going to go through there, and it's going to seal it anyway, and it's going to make a good solid connection. So here we go. All right, so where we're at, we got a nice coat of fiberglass on top of it. Now we wait 24 hours for this to cure. Okay, to finish up on the inner drum, I found a can of automotive paint that I had made up for my 97 Mustang, which is white. And it just happens that I had a spare can of it kicking around. It worked perfect for this drum. I've sealed up all the rust around the outside of that drum. It'll last, give us another couple of years, and be good to go. This paint happens to have a mixture of its base pigment as well as a clear coat on the outside, so it's perfect for this situation, especially once you got the primer on there. You definitely want to get the paint on there within 24 hours, so they'll bond together. So we gave it 24 hours to cure. Now we have a nice solid. The cracks are all nice and secure, and we shouldn't have another issue unless the tug for some reason cracks somewhere else. So now, let's start getting it back together again. First step is to put your inner drum back on. You're going to take your spinner, stick that puppy right on here. It's gonna, because it's got this flange, it's going to push right on this thing, and it's going to tighten it right down in the position it was before we pulled it out. Now having a spanner wrench is what's when you're doing this on a regular basis, you're going to want a spanner wrench that fits that. In my case, I'm using a large pipe wrench. Next thing, you're going to put this clip back on there. Well, not a clip, but this is the clip here that goes on there and secures that in place. Secures that right in place like that, and that keeps it together. Next thing, you've got your agitator. That's gonna sit right on that spline. You got your bolt inside there. You're gonna tighten that puppy back in. Okay, once you've got your bolt snug, and you got this cover that goes on there, and you'll see you got tabs on both sides. You got them made up with those. So there you go, and they're locked in. Alright. And then you got your little cup. Just like that. Get a little cover that goes on like that. Push it in there. Come on. And then just that. Push it. Alright. There we go. Next thing. Can't forget this outer ring. Okay. What I did is I marked the side of the drum to match those, make sure I put them in correctly. Now they'll be outside. I gotta just push down on them and they will lock right in. And that's exactly the same way that you would take them out. Get them all the way around. On that tab. Back here. There we go. Lock in there. Make sure they're all locked in. And that's it. And that's the way that goes. Going all back together again. The next thing I gotta do is I gotta put the outer casing on here. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit, clean up the base a little bit, and then we'll stick that back on. Okay, now make sure you put everything back together that you pulled apart. I disconnected this pressure line here and put that back through that like it should be. And you do have this little tension strap down here. If you twist it, the back will fall right off. Okay, and of course that'll fall back. If you twist that, it'll fall back enough so you can get the get the drum apart. And I also had pulled the door switch out of here. So I had it because I was running the pump while I was cleaning out the drum. So I put the little ground wire back where it belongs. And we'll be hooking up the plug here in a minute. Make sure. No. Yeah, all the clips there. Okay, make sure this is in. Make sure this is in so that when the door shuts, that goes right up inside that. There you go. Alright, there you go. Now it's secure. That's where it needs to be. When you put the cover back on, when you put the your front piece back on, that's where it'll hold where it needs to be. Okay, now you got the control panel folded back. That's what these little plastic tabs do. And then we're going to slide this and we're going to line it down here on the base. Alright, a little bit of maneuvering down here on the bottom down here. You got this inside here, you'll see the little tab, and on the back side there's a little tab. So you want to pull this back far enough so you slide those over the top of that, and it'll lock down, and then it'll be solid on its base. Next thing you're going to want to do is you put these back. This holds your back plate on here, and these are really simple. As you can see how they go in, and just hook up onto here, and this piece pushes down, and then you shove it. You can use your hand, and then it'll lock on this back side. And it's that simple on both counts. Now, next thing I want to do is, alright, next thing you want to do, whoop, it moved on me, get out. Just put this little hook through here, just grab it like that, and pull it right up against that, and then you're going to push this down. Whoop, keep going. There you go. And it locks right in there. That'll lock that back piece. Now to get those out, all you do is put a screwdriver in this way, and it hooks on this little tab. Let me get this one over here in real quick. Just push it down and it locks in, and it secures your back. Now get those tabs out. Just put a screwdriver. I use my thing here, and just pop it. That's all there is to it. Stick it in there and pop it. Push it in there. All right, we are secure. Now I want to hook our little door switch right back up here. Okay. Again, be careful when you're out washing this thing. If you're overriding it by the door switch, because you got, you get yourself electrocuted, because you run electricity at the same time that you're trying to pump it out and get it clean. So anyway, next step is get these crazy little hooks back up under here, and then that's going to lock your control panel down, and this piece here is going to go up and lock inside the top of this, and this other piece is going to drop down and lock underneath. Because you got to remember that you have that lock right there. It's got to go in there, and it's going to lock under that. And then you got these two. So then you're going to take this piece, and it's going to go up in here. Alright, this little clip here has been kicking my ass. What you do is you push it in here backwards. Get it back out. Alright, there we go. All right, you see this clip, so it's facing out. Slide that puppy in there like that. Squeeze it so the other piece, so the other side of it locks in there as well. One hand doesn't work. Okay, like I said, put the one side in there like that, put the other one, and then you're gonna squeeze that, and you're gonna lock it up under there. Alright, now once you got that tab just the way I showed you, it'll pop right down the inside, and now you got a good solid, now it's solid, okay? Other side of it, now when you want to take it out, you're just gonna put a putty knife right in line right here, and shove it, and it's gonna pop, and it's gonna pop that out for you, and then you'll do it all over again. That was probably the hardest part of the whole job. Alright, well, that's where we're at. And we can move it into the house now. And of course, if it's somebody's used one, it's probably got scratches and rust and stuff like that on it. So as you can see, I started to clean it up and a little bit of primer here, and I'll get some white. It's simple because it is white, and if you really want to get carried away, you can get in touch with the dealer there, Kenmore, and get the white paint. But you can just get some matching semi-gloss and just paint it up the color that you're getting. Whether it could be the tan color, or in this case it's white. So anyway, that's where we're at. And now, as soon as I get this in the house, I'll bring us back. All right, final result. It's now in its location. And make sure you got all your lines hooked up. You get your hot and your cold, and then go ahead and turn them on. And of course, leak check them. Okay, make sure you don't have any leakage. And then of course install your drain. And now have power. She's now filling. I will do just gonna do like a small load. I got hot. Yeah, I got hot. Let me just go warm. Of course, this is the first time I've run this thing, so just run everything through everything and make sure you hear sounds. You hear the warm water kicking in, and now you're just going straight hot. Warm mix there. And I got that set for a regular wash. And it's filling. So, anyway, that's where we're at. Wipe and clean around the outsides. I did the major cleaning, and of course, you know, put bleach in here, and make sure you do a good. She likes to use vinegar. That'll make it smell good, huh? Well, unfortunately, trying to get this thing to run, there's something wrong with that door switch. So I'm going to have to pull that off, because I've got it hooked up, but you push the switch and you can see that it runs okay. So unfortunately, in this case, I've got a bad switch. Alright, I'm back. We'll troubleshoot this thing a little bit more. There's the switch right there. And what happens is, when I open the door, come back, this is the way it should work. And then you can just go ahead and apply it, and it's working. But unfortunately, what I'm gonna have to do is I can secure it. The tab is broken, is what's happening. So I'm gonna have to secure this in spot with something. Alright, here we are. Finally. It's the end. Got it running, and I got no leaks. So another project completed. So subscribe, comment, and support. We will catch you on the next Dana Crosby's projects around the house.